Good day, fellow Gooners. How are you all doing today? I hope you are all doing fantastically well on this winter's day. Well, I don't know where you guys are, but here in South Africa it is winter and quite chilly. Let me tell you that much. That's why I always enjoy my Arsenal news with a nice cup of coffee. So, cheers to you fantastic young people, or old. So let's get into this morning's news. Not much really going on this morning. Okay, so let's get into it. From the publication PSG Talk. Arsenal willing to pay up to 25 million euros for PSG Real Madrid transfer target. PSG could be gearing up for a transfer battle with Arsenal, AC Milan and Juventus, as well as Real Madrid, over one of Spain's most exciting young defenders. But it's Arsenal who have taken the lead, having already agreed on personal terms with the player. While PSG had one of the strongest defences in League One this past season, the back line is beginning to show some wear and tear. Lucas Hernandez is back on the pitch, but still recovering from injury. And although Marquinhos remains a key leader for PSG, he's lost a bit of his burst that once made him a standout. Presnel Kimpembe continues to have a big influence on the field, but questions remain about his short-term and long-term fitness. Luis Enrique is optimistic about Lucas Beraldo's development, though the Brazilian is still seen more as a depth piece than a regular starter. Arsenal are keen on PSG Real Madrid transfer target, and you can see it looks like they're talking about none other Cristhian Mosqeura, who is a fantastic young up-and-coming talent. Definitely a major upgrade on Jakub Kiwior, which in my opinion should leave the club. You know, he's been with us for a few seasons now and he hasn't really shown much development. So I think we need to offload him sooner rather than later. Anyway, back to the article. Arsenal chief Andrea Berta Top G is considering whether to increase the club's offer for Valencia defender Cristhian Mosqeura after their opening bid was rejected. According to Spanish outlet Super Deporte, the initial offer was reportedly around 15 million euros, but Valencia were not persuaded to sell by that puny bid. A deal could be possible if Arsenal return with a proposal in the 20 million euro to 25 million euro range, with an additional 3 to 5 million euros in add-ons. Mosqeura, whose contract expires next summer, recently featured for Spain at the under-21 Euros. Recently, transfer expert Top G Fabrizio Romano revealed that Arsenal have agreed upon personal terms with Mosqeura. After Valencia rejected Arsenal's initial bid, the club is preparing a new offer. The Premier League side hope to complete the deal for a fee over the 20 million euro range, with talks currently ongoing. Marca has reported that Real Madrid are already weighing their options for next summer's free agents. Arsenal left back Miles Lewis-Skelly and Mosqeura are among the names on their radar. But as we do know, most recently, Miles Lewis-Skelly has indeed signed a new contract with the Gunners, which means Real Madrid, keep your hands to yourself, buddies, because our star players aren't going anywhere. And forget about Ethan Nwaneri as well. Okay, back to the article. Foot Mercato reported that Mosqeura is on PSG's transfer radar this summer to continue injecting youth into the centre-back position. A key player for Valencia, the Alicante native could be sold by the club to boost the finances. Nonetheless, it seems Arsenal have the upper hand in this race, and if they present an offer that satisfies Valencia, the Gunners will come away with a talented young defender. Interesting. So Arsenal making waves in the transfer market, scaring the likes of PSG, AC Milan, Juventus, and Real Madrid. All the top teams are after this player, Cristhian Mosqeura. So it's by no coincidence that Andrea Berta has highlighted him as a key part of the transfer window for us. Good job. Moving on. Okay, Arsenal news reports. Arsenal's interest in signing Eberechi Eze is separate from the striker and winger pursuits. That's fantastic news. Imagine if we can get Eze and Rodrigo and a striker like Victor Gyökeres. Then I would say we're definitely winning the league. It doesn't matter if Liverpool got Florian Wirtz or whoever. The fact still remains is we've got the best defense in the world. Best defense. Last season we were toothless in attack. Many chances were created, especially against PSG, but no one to finish them. Yeah. Okay, back to the article. Arsenal could bolster their forward department with as many as 3 signings this summer. The Gunners are determined to sign a marquee striker during the ongoing transfer window. A left-sided winger could also be pursued in the coming weeks. The Athletics' David Ornstein, legend, has now revealed that Crystal Palace star Eberechi Eze is among the options being considered as the Gunners seek a versatile attacker. No contact has been established with Palace, but there is currently no competition. Tottenham Hotspur are not exploring a move for the FA Cup winner. Okay, so that's quite interesting because yesterday they reported that Arsenal had made contact over the weekend. But anyway, I'm just reporting on the news, the most interesting news. I don't write this stuff. I'm just informing you, lovely people. Arsenal's interest in Eze is indeed serious and would be separate from their pursuit of a striker and a left winger. The Englishman has a release clause, but the Gunners would be looking to do a deal at a lower price. What's new? Whenever a club wants a certain amount, Arsenal will always try and penny pinch, and it's cost us. It's cost us heavily in the past. Hopefully it won't cost us in this transfer window. Eze would be a fabulous acquisition. The England international has a terrific 2024-25 campaign with the Eagles. He notched up 14 goals and provided 11 assists in all competitions. The 27-year-old who scored the FA Cup final winner against Manchester City played the entirety of the campaign from the number 10 position. However, Eze is pretty versatile and has also featured on the left wing, right wing and in central midfield. His positional flexibility has probably convinced manager Mikel Arteta. Well, if we get a striker and we get Eze, which is now reported that he's not going to be playing on the wing, what's going to happen to King Kai? Are we going to sell him? That's a question I have here. Anyway, back to the article. The once Arsenal graduate is in the prime of his career. Having just turned 27, he possesses superb dribbling skills and completed 2 take-ons per game last term. I've done some research on Eze after we've been linked with him. And on the ball, he actually reminds me quite a bit of Thierry Henry. Like the way Henry used to just change pace and burst past defenders. Eze has that same type of quality. Obviously, not as good. I mean, who can ever be as good as Thierry Henry? The Englishman is also impressed with his pace and quick transition of play. He has a slight bias towards the left flank, which should benefit the Gunners, who need more creativity from that area. Eze has a release clause worth £68 million payable in 3 installments of 20 million, with 8 million in add-ons. With the Gunners seeking to sign a marquee striker and a left winger alongside Eze, they will be hoping to negotiate a lower package with the Eagles for the £100,000 per week playmaker. So that's fantastic news. I was wondering if we were signing Eze as a striker or as a winger or a central attacking mid. You know, anything's possible with Arsenal. Having seen us deploy Merino as a striker instead of Martinelli or Trossard has left me shaking my head. But now we have some clarity. Okay, now from court offside. A Benjamin Sesko update. Arsenal finally closer to €75 million transfer agreement, but Man United and Man City are lurking. Arsenal may finally be edging closer to an agreement with RB Leipzig for the transfer of Benjamin Sesko this summer for around €75 million. The Slovenia international has long been the Gunners' top target, but negotiations have gone slower than expected so far. Yeah, and as far as I understand it, it's mainly because of Berta. If Edu was still in charge, we would have had these signings. But as far as I can tell, according to reports, Edo likes to go after more than one target in the same position, and then afterwards seeing which deal is best. Which I can't really say I agree with that, because while at the same time you might be pursuing a few targets, what you're actually doing is you are creating the groundwork for another club to just come in and finish those deals off. All they need to do is add 1 or 2 million to the transfer fee, and then that's done. So you need to be more aggressive, Berta. Anyway, back to the article. However, sources close to the deal have informed Court Offside that the parties involved may be nearing a compromise on a fee in the region of €75 million. Leipzig had initially been demanding over €80 million for Sesko, but there is a growing sense that Arsenal may be able to get him for slightly less, provided the deal is structured in the right way. Benjamin Sesko also has other transfer suitors lurking in the background. Still, Arsenal are not the only club interested in Sesko, with sources revealing that other big clubs are waiting to see if the deal collapses. The 22-year-old, who has a total of 39 goals in 87 appearances during his 2 seasons with Leipzig, is also on the radar of Manchester United, Manchester City and Real Madrid. Court Offside understands. There was also previously interest from Chelsea, but that is thought to have ended with the Blues instead signing Liam Delap and closing in on João Pedro. Now, I've highlighted this time and time again. I mean, Chelsea's not my club, but I do have a strong affiliation with Chelsea, as my late father, he was a big Chelsea fan his entire life. So you can imagine derby days, me and him sitting watching the same television, was not a very hospitable event. But why would Chelsea want to sign Liam Delap instead of going after a player like Sesko? Does it mean that Arsenal is so far ahead that they just seem that it's not possible for them to even come close to us in agreeing this deal? Anyhow, back to the article. Sesko can shine in the Premier League. Sesko looks an outstanding young talent, and he'd surely strengthen Arsenal, who struggled for goals last season. Man United also need a top centre forward after the struggles of Rasmus Højlund and Joshua Zirkzee, so they do well to win the race for his signature. One imagines Sesko would favour clubs like Arsenal or Manchester City though, due to the fact they have Champions League football. United are a bit of a mess at this moment, so it will be interesting to see how much that affects the calibre of players they can lure to Old Trafford. Now, it seems that a compromise might be on the cards for the transfer fee of Benjamin Sesko for Arsenal. I'm sure that would make us, the Arsenal hierarchy, very happy indeed. If they could save £50 on a deal, they would. More from this publication. Fabrizio Romano, legendary, confirms Arsenal interest in top player after internal discussions. Arsenal have identified Newcastle United star Anthony Gordon as a potential summer target, according to transfer news expert Fabrizio Romano. Romano has confirmed to Give Me Sport that the Gunners are genuine admirers of Gordon, with internal discussions already taking place at the Emirates regarding the possibility of pursuing the England international. While no formal contact has been made with Newcastle United or Gordon's representatives, the 24-year-old is firmly on the radar as the club looks to add depth and quality to their wide attacking areas. Arsenal appreciate Newcastle United star Gordon, who joined Newcastle from Everton. He has impressed with his performances for the Magpies, showcasing his goal scoring and goal creating abilities. He has enjoyed a strong season at St James's Park, scoring 9 goals and providing 7 assists across 42 appearances, further enhancing his reputation as one of the Premier League's rising attacking talents. Romano says Arsenal interest is true. He is one of the players they like, and they discussed it internally. But what I understand, it's not that Arsenal have opened any negotiations with Newcastle or his agents. It's just an appreciation for the player, but for the winger at Arsenal, I think we have to be a bit patient before we understand who is the player they really want. Adding a player like Gordon, who brings energy, Premier League experience and versatility, would help reduce the workload on Bukayo Saka and Gabriel Martinelli, while providing additional options alongside Leandro Trossard in wide positions. Okay, so the problem here is the price. I believe Newcastle is wanting around 70 to 80 million pounds. Now, for that amount of money, we can rather just go ahead and get Rodrigo. But the thing with Rodrigo is he wants £300,000 a week for the salary, whereas Gordon could be much cheaper than that, maybe around £200,000. So he is a cheaper alternative, although the transfer fee for Gordon would be much higher. We're also looking at Rafael Leao and Noni Madueke. Eberechi Eze, he can also do a job there. So it's going to be interesting to see who Berta and Arteta decide on. Who do you guys think we should be signing? Anyway, and that's that for today's main news articles. As I said, not much has been going on recently. Maybe by later on today we'll have some new reports, and I'll be sure to get that to you guys. Anyway, I hope you guys have a fantastic day further. God bless the Gooners, and God bless Arsenal. Cheers for now.